The colony ship Prometheus had been humanity's greatest achievement, a vessel carrying 10,000 souls across the stars to find a new home. But when it crash-landed on Dracoria Prime, a world already claimed by ancient intelligent dragons, everyone assumed humanity's journey had ended in tragedy. 6-year-old Luca Gray didn't remember Earth. He'd been born in the cold sleep chambers, his first breath taken in the recycled air of the colony's makeshift settlement. The dragons had allowed humans to stay, but only in the scorched valley they called the Ashlands, a place where nothing grew and water had to be rationed like liquid gold. The dragons ruled this world from their crystalline spires, magnificent beings of scale and flame who viewed humanity as little more than interesting parasites. They had their own civilization, their own culture, and absolutely no interest in sharing their paradise with the desperate refugees from a dying star system. Luca had been playing near the settlement's edge when it happened. One moment he was stacking rocks into a makeshift fort, and the next massive talons wrapped around his small body. The world became a blur of wind and screaming as other children scattered. His mother's anguished cry pierced the air, but it was already too late. The dragon who took him was called Mirath, and she was ancient even by dragon standards. Her scales had faded from vibrant crimson to a dull copper, and she lived alone in a cave far from the other dragons' gleaming cities. As she carried Luca through the clouds, he should have been terrified. Instead, he felt an odd sense of calm radiating from the creature. She deposited him gently in her cave, a vast chamber lit by bioluminescent fungi and filled with treasures from 1,000 worlds. Luca stood there, small and defiant, fists clenched. "You can't keep me. My mom will be worried." Mirath regarded him with eyes like molten amber. When she spoke, her voice resonated in his mind rather than his ears. "I do not wish to keep you, small one. I wish to understand you." "Understand what?" Luca demanded, though his voice shook slightly. "How you persist." Over the following days, Mirath didn't harm Luca. Instead, she observed him with intense curiosity. She gave him food, strange fruits from the dragon's gardens that tasted like sunshine and honey. She watched as he fashioned tools from cave rocks, as he created games to entertain himself, as he sang songs his mother had taught him to keep away the loneliness. "Your kind has nothing," Mirath said one evening as Luca built a small fire using techniques he'd learned from the colony's survival instructor. "Your ship is broken. Your technology barely functions. You live in a wasteland that would kill my kind in weeks. Yet you do not despair. Why?" Luca poked at the fire with a stick, making sparks dance. "Because giving up would be dumber than trying." "My people gave up," Mirath said softly. "Did you know that once we too traveled between stars? We had ships that made yours look like children's toys. But then we found this perfect world and we stopped. We stopped growing. We stopped dreaming. We stopped caring." She gestured with a claw toward her hoard of artifacts. "These are relics from 100 civilizations we encountered. All of them are gone now. Dead species, extinct cultures. I collected them to remember, but my people mock me for dwelling on the past. They call me the Lonely Dragon because I still wonder what lies beyond our sky." Luca looked up at the massive dragon with new understanding. "You took me because you wanted to see if humans would survive." "I took you because I needed to know if hope was real," Mirath corrected. "My people have everything: power, immortality, a paradise world. Yet we are hollow. Your people have nothing, yet you fight as if you have everything to gain." A small human child stolen from his home doesn't weep or beg. Instead, he makes fire, creates games, and plans his survival. It is remarkable. Luca stood and walked closer to the dragon's massive head. "We survive because we have to. Because our moms and dads need us. Because maybe tomorrow will be better than today. Because giving up isn't an option when people are counting on you." Mirath was silent for a long moment. Then she lowered her head until her snout nearly touched Luca's chest. "Will you show me how to hope again, small one?" "Only if you take me home first," Luca said firmly. "My mom really will be worried." The dragon's laugh rumbled through the cave like distant thunder. "Agreed." When Mirath returned Luca to the settlement, the entire colony mobilized for defense, until they saw the small boy riding confidently on the dragon's back, waving and grinning. His mother ran forward, tears streaming down her face, but Mirath didn't leave. Instead, she called to the other dragons, her voice carrying across the entire world. She spoke of the humans' resilience, their refusal to surrender, their capacity to find joy even in hardship. She challenged her people. What had they become that they could not see the value in such determination? The dragon's response was slow, but it came. First, water rights to the northern rivers, then seeds from their gardens, technology sharing, cultural exchange, not charity partnership. The humans had something the dragons had lost, and the dragons had resources the humans desperately needed. Years later, when Luca Gray stood as humanity's youngest ambassador to the Dragon Council, Mirith was always by his side. The lonely dragon had found her purpose again, and the human boy had helped an entire species remember why they'd reached for the stars in the first place. The humans of the Prometheus didn't just survive on Dracoria Prime. They thrived, not because they were the strongest or the smartest, but because they carried something that couldn't be measured in technology or raw power, the stubborn, unshakable belief that tomorrow could be better than today, and the willingness to work like hell to make it so. That was the human way. That was why they'd inherit the stars, and it all started with a lonely dragon who dared to ask a simple question. How do they persist? The answer, as it turned out, astonished everyone.